Hi writers, welcome to our mini lesson. So the first thing that we need to do is take a look at our how to write a literary essay chart that we have started. So we have talked about the growing ideas, and that's what we practice. And now hopefully that next bullet point, finding a big idea that's really important to you, then writing a thesis. So yesterday we thought about our characters, thought about what we had noticed about them, and tried to come up with a thesis. And we took some time by flipping through and thinking and talking about whether our thesis was going to work or which one was going to work. And really, we want to make sure that there is just enough evidence in the text that supports your thesis or your opinion about your character. And so now we're at the point where we're going to start collecting evidence for some of those reasons that support our thesis. So I'm going to go ahead and start that for you today. And if you are still working on your thesis and your reasons, just remember that you need to pick up wherever you left off. So every time for independent writing, you need to think about where you are with your essay and what your next steps are. So today we are going to collect evidence by trying a strategy of adding a micro story to one of our reasons. Micro meaning little. A little story. So, and you want to angle the story so that it helps you, it helps your opinion, and it helps to make the point. So you're going to begin the story by repeating the point that you want to make. You want to make sure that you use words from the text. And you want to also, you can think about mentioning what the character does not do as a way to draw attention to what the character does do. And I'm going to show you an example of that. And you're going to repeat the key words from the big idea or topic sentence or thesis sentence or your reason often. So repeating a phrase or sentence is a good thing in this case. So I'm going to model this for you. We're going to take a look again at the story Fox. And I am looking at my my thesis that dog is a good friend. That's what I came up with yesterday. He's a good friend because he's caring. He's a good friend because he doesn't give up. And he's a good friend because he sees the good in people. And I am, flip to my notebook here. Hang on just a second. Okay, I'm going to show. So here is my thesis. And here are a couple of reasons that I came up with. I'm going to look at because he sees the good in people. And if you guys remember from the last unit, I already started those file folders. So I'm going to take some paper, fold it in half. And I am going to label it with my reason. And I'm just going to start with because he sees the good in people. Okay. So I'm going to try to find a micro story today that supports that dog is a good friend because he sees the good in people. Once I write that micro story, I can stick it inside of this file folder. So let me go. I have to look back at the text and okay, I'm going to go looking through here and so dog runs with my pie on his back every day, through summer, through winter, after the rains, when saplings are springing up everywhere. A fox comes into the bush, fox with his haunted eyes and rich red coat. He flickers through the trees like a tongue of fire, and magpie trembles. But Dog says, welcome, we can offer you food and shelter. Oh, that's an example right there of him being a caring person. Thank you, says Fox. I saw you running this morning. You looked extraordinary. Dog beams, but Magpie shrinks away. She can feel Fox staring at her burnt wing. In the evenings, when the air is creamy with blossom, Dog and Magpie relax at the mouth of the cave, enjoying each other's company. Now and again, Fox joins in the conversation, but Magpie can feel him watching, always watching her. And at night his smell seems to fill the cave, a smell of rage and envy and loneliness. Magpie tries to warn Dog about Fox. He belongs nowhere, she says. He loves no one. But Dog says, he's all right, let him be. Right there is another example. Even though Magpie is just frightened by Fox, Dog seems to want to give Fox a chance. So I'm thinking about, because he sees the good in people, and I want to think about a micro story. So I've just gotten a page from my notebook. I put a micro story, and I'm thinking about because he, meaning Dog, sees the good in people. Okay. And I'm going to say, Dog is the kind of character that sees the best in others. Do you see how I repeated my point? For example, one day a fox came into the bush where Dog and Magpie lived. Fox moves through the trees sneakily like a tongue of fire, and Magpie trembles at the sight of him. But Dog doesn't see the bad in Fox. So I'm kind of retelling what happened in the story in my own words, but I am using a few details from the text, like the word sneakily. Magpie trembles. And do you notice I used a transition here? For example. Now, how to angle a story, that chart we talk about, what is your character, what do they not do? What he didn't do. Dog does not tremble like Magpie. He is not scared by Fox's haunted eyes. Instead, he's excited that Fox has come to visit their cave, and Dog welcomes him in for food and shelter. So I also picked up another transition here. Instead, I'm going to put a box around that. So I also kind of create a little mini story to tell what Dog didn't do. He's not, scared. Doesn't seem scared of Magpie, even though he's got haunted eyes. So I kind of used some of those precise words that the author used. I'm going to go back to my idea. Dog only sees the good in Fox. So what I did here was thought of a mini story, thought of an example or examples from the text that support my thinking about Dog seeing the good in people. I also thought about what Dog didn't do, and that also shows how he actually acted to support my point. And then I'm just going to repeat my idea again. Dog only sees the good in Fox. So I have created a couple mini stories that support Dog is a good friend because he sees the good in people. So what I could do today is tear out that page, and then I can stick it inside of my folder. So I know right there I have collected some evidence that supports this reason, because he sees the good in people. Alright guys, so that's what you're going to do today. You're going to go back through the text. You're going to think about what reason you would like to create a micro story for, a mini story for. Just kind of go through the same process. Find some examples in the text that really support your thinking. Think about telling a story about what the character did. Also think about what they didn't do. And then go back and repeat your idea and make sure that it all fits together and create it in the storage container. All right. So when you're ready, you guys are going to continue on to independent writing time.